Hi, it's Sally-Shakti, your star priestess and visionary writing guide, and welcome to Tarot and Astrology for Visionary Writers for this Leo full moon on the 25th of January 2024. What a powerful full moon we are going to be experiencing for this Leo full moon. I'm really mindful that numerologically, this year, 2024, is an 8-year. 2 + 2 + 4 is 8. And in relationship to the tarot, that relates to the Strength card. Sometimes it relates to the Justice card, but I'm relating it to the Strength card with the decks that I use. So we're in the energy of a Strength year. And Strength, the 8 card, is ruled by Leo, the sign of Leo. Last year, 2023, was a 7-year, ruled by the card or the energy of the card of the Chariot and the sign of Cancer. Last year's energy was all about incubation. It was all about doing the deep inner work. That is what the 7s in the tarot invite us to do. And you may, as a visionary writer and creative, have felt frustrated last year with your efforts to move things forward on the surface and bring your ideas, your visions, your words out into the world in tangible physical form externally. Because last year we were doing the deep dive, we were doing the deep internal underworld shadow work, the alchemy. That energy is shifting. We have an enormous shift happening this week. We have just experienced both the Sun and Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius. Now, of course, the Sun will stay in the sign of Aquarius for about a month. The Pluto is going to be in the sign of Aquarius for the next 20 years, back and forth a little bit for the rest of this year, and then fully entering and staying in the sign of Aquarius for the next 20 years. This is a massive astrological age transition, which many astrologers, and myself included, have been talking about for a while now. So this weekend, we have just experienced the Sun conjunct Pluto twice in 2 days, first at 29 degrees of Capricorn, and then again at 0 degrees of Aquarius. We are experiencing an enormous shift. Now, the Sun is our star, and that is also ruled by the energy of Leo. So we've got these massive Leo energies coming through for us now to support the externalization of this deep inner alchemy that we have been sitting in for the whole of last year. That deep inner work, that healing, that shadow work is absolutely essential for supporting us as visionary writers and creatives to bring through new possibilities, new potential, new visions, new creations, new forms and structures into this world that will help to shift the planetary alignment and the collective web of being, the collective web of life. Because as we shift and change and heal and transform our own internal structures, as we do that deep inner alchemy work, our own sacred geometry, our frequency, our resonance structures that energetically create who we are and connect us to the web of life and project our energy into the world. It shifts, it changes. As we raise our frequency, as we raise our vibration, we internally restructure our sacred geometry. We are vibrating as different beings. We are vibrating with a different level of sacred geometric structure in our energy field. And so that means many things. It means that our connection to the web of life has the potential to transform the whole of the web of life, or at least the many connections that we make in our lives and through our energy fields have the ripple effect of being able to make changes to the collective wider structure of the web of life, the web of being. We are all always intimately connected to that sacred geometric structure of the whole of life, flowering into existence in every moment. We are all always responsible as active participants and co-creators of the web of life. And that responsibility starts with the internal sacred geometry, our own internal resonant frequency, and that is affected by and changed by and alchemized by our internal healing, our internal transformation, our internal alchemy. The work that we are doing on ourselves, our own shadow work, shifts and changes our own internal energetic structure, which in turn influences and connects with the whole of the web of life. So as we have been doing that deep internal restructuring last year, we can now begin to see the effects of that new frequency, our new sacred geometry, rippling out and showing up in the wider world around us. And if you are a visionary writer or creative, you will also be shining that light into the world through your creations, through what you create, through the ways that you create and show up in the world and share your energy, your frequency, your teaching, your story with others, the way that you connect with them. And the more we shift and change our internal energy, our internal resonant frequency, the more change we see on the outside, the more that changes the way that we show up, the ways that we create our work in the world, the people we connect with, and the influence we have on the structure of the web of being. This year, 2024, is a powerful year for us to show up and shine in our greatness. And that might seem scary. That might seem intimidating to feel like we're going to be invited to be bigger, to be more visible. We'll find the strength for that in our hearts. And this is where the 8 year, this is where the strength card, and this is where Leo is supporting us. Leo is the energy of how we show up in the world. It is the energy of our personality. It is the energy of our self-expression, our creative self-expression. It can also be the energy of playfulness, lightness. It's the energy of the sun, how we shine our light into the world. And that light that comes through the courage of our hearts, with Leo, the lion, and the strength card showing us that courage that our hearts can shine our light into the world. And it's when we shine from the heart, when we show up and shine from the heart through our creations and through our connections, that we are truly in our light and in our power, because that's where our power lies. We have that connection with our power comes up from the solar plexus, that fire, the soul, the solar energy of the fire in the solar plexus, and it rises up to the heart to shine and connect into the world and into the web of life and being. The more we show up and shine from our hearts, the more we connect with the web of life, the more we support the becoming of the web of life, and the more we are taking responsibility for ourselves as active participants and co-creators in the web of life. So I find it really significant that our first full moon of 2024 will be the Leo full moon. Now, the 2 full moons that bookended 2023 was the Cancer full moon, and we had that Cancer energy with us through the whole of last year. This year, our first full moon energy is this Leo full moon, our invitation to show up and shine. What I'm seeing as well from the chart is that with the Leo full moon, we also have Leo in the ascendant. Leo is the rising sign. We have Leo on the ascendant. So we have this really strong invitational energy to gather ourselves, to show up, to find that sacred connection between the power in our solar plexus and the light that wants to shine through our hearts. And we are being invited now and for the whole of this year to keep finding that courage that is the strength of our hearts, the light of our connections and our communities and our communications, and the creative self-expression that we as visionary writers and creatives are here to show up with, to be a stand for in this world as we make the necessary shifts to our own internal frequency that now are ready to show up and shine in the external world. This year will be a significant shift for us as visionary writers and creatives as we begin to shine the light of our hearts through our creations and see that internal alchemy showing up in our external world through our creations, our communities, and our connections, and through the ways that we are finding more courage to show up in our own unique, personal, creative self-expression. All of these are Leo themes that are going to be very much highlighted with this first full moon of the year, and then we'll be continuing to support us and invite us into this alchemical change throughout this year. We have as well with any full moon the opposition. We've got the opposition between the moon in Leo and the sun in Aquarius. The sun in Aquarius wants us to consider the collective, wants us to connect with the wider public and the wider web of interbeing. Leo, the moon in Leo wants us to show up in our creative self-expression, our personal sovereignty. And so how can we stand in the center of that opposition and integrate those polarities as we begin to realize that it doesn't have to be a battle between our own personal sovereignty and the wider community, that the way that we get to serve our communities and the collective is specifically to show up as ourselves in our own personal sovereignty, our own creative self-expression, our joy, our abundance, our playfulness. And it is us showing up, shining from the heart, and keep coming back to that invitation to expand a little bit more, show up from the heart, share who you are, share your story, tell your story, share your vision. How will we, as visionary writers and creatives, keep meeting the invitation to show up and shine from the heart? Because that is how we will be seen. That is how we will create the resonant field for the right community, the right people to find us and connect with us. It is how we will continue to shine our light into the world and shift moment by moment, restructuring the sacred geometry of the whole of the web of creation. So another invitation that I want to speak about as I take a quick look at the chart for this Leo new moon is that we have, as I said, Leo on the ascendant. We also have Jupiter in Taurus right on the midheaven. So we've got this strong energy of expansion, grounded, organic, abundant expansion, meeting us in the physical world through our work, through what we create, through what we are here to give to the world, through our practice. That midheaven, the 10th house, is all about the work that we do in the world, the structures that we are creating, that we are creating so that we can create new forms and structures in the world so that we can create new possibilities in the world, make new connections with people, and shift the energy of the whole. 10th house midheaven is all about the creative work that we are here to do in the world. And we have really strong support from Jupiter, now direct at 6 degrees of Taurus. So out of its shadow zone, or still in its shadow zone, sorry, but moving direct at 6 degrees of Taurus, encouraging and inviting us to ground our energy, ground our abundance, and to create vital new structures in the world through our work and through our visions, because those structures will nourish us and the collective. That Taurus energy is there to remind us of self-love, self-worth, self-value, pleasure in what we are creating, the tangible steps for the structures that we are here uniquely to bring forward in this world. What else do we have? With this energy of the Leo full moon, we have Uranus in Taurus trining with Mercury in Capricorn. So again, Uranus, both direct, and Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. These are the energies of communication. This is the energy of Mercury, is the energy of writing, communicating, our personal ways of communicating, speaking, writing, and connecting with others through our voice, through our words, through language, also through numbers and structures and sacred geometries. Mercury is all of these things. Uranus, the higher octave of Mercury, is asking us to grow in our capacity to speak not only to our personal, in our personal relationships and with the people closest to us, but to the collective. Uranus and trining Mercury at this Leo full moon, again, is inviting us to grow, to expand, to step a little bit out of our comfort zone, so that as we show up and shine in our hearts, from our hearts, we are speaking to more people. Our voices are being heard by more people. Our stories are being read by more people. We are beginning to ripple out through that web of creative co-creation, so that we can begin to really connect with and form the communities that we are here to work with and support each other, collaborations, and speaking to the whole, speaking to the collective, so that we can have more impact. Our structures, the possibilities that we are here to create and to share, reaching more people as we dare to show up and shine through our hearts with the courage that we receive from this Leo new moon. So I think that is probably all the aspects and energies of this moon that I want to bring forward for us in this video today. The invitation is strength and courage, because that invitation to step into our bigness, our boldness, our visibility, to tell our story, to reach more people, to make more connections, that can feel, we might not feel ready for that, especially if we're still in that hibernatory energy of the winter season and last year's chariot year. But for many people I know, especially now with this deep and transformative astrological shift with Pluto moving into Aquarius, the energy has shifted. Last year has fallen away. It is not there anymore. The energy for it is not there anymore. Structures we created in the previous year are not energetically connecting anymore. Again, it is time to move forward with new possibilities, new forms, new structures, new creations, and a new power through our own creative self-expression as we stand in our sovereignty. And let me just remind us again that if we're feeling a tension or an opposition between that creative self-sovereignty of Leo of the full moon in Leo, and the invitation to consider the collective and to, it's not an invitation to bow to the collective. It's an invitation to stand in the center of that polarity and integrate, and to come through with the fire in our bellies that can shine through our hearts. Because when we show up in our creative self-expression of our unique self-sovereignty, the courage in our hearts, the strength in our hearts to shine bright, then we can connect with the collective and help to illuminate the threads of the web of life. And the more we can illuminate those threads through our own being, through our own internal frequency, our own sacred geometry, the more we connect out with more people, and the web of life becomes illuminated. The structure shifts, more light, more radiance, more harmony in those sacred geometries are channeling through and becoming grounded into our physical web of life. And there is a lot of earth energy in support of this moon. We have still a lot of planets in Capricorn, and we've got Jupiter and Uranus there, those big planets in Taurus. We've got those trines going on. There's a lot of earth energy supporting us to ground and manifest the new structures, forms, creations, and frequencies that we are uniquely here to bring to this earth, so that when we show up in our sovereignty, we can connect more intentionally and more sacredly with the collective, as we support the process of channeling and grounding more light, more radiance, more subtle sacred geometric frequencies in the web of the whole. So as a visionary writer or creative, you are invited this year to stand in your power, to step up into your heart, to shine bright, to tell your transformational story, and to connect with others, because you are here for a purpose, and your purpose is to shine your light and help to be part of this great cosmic collective shift that we are experiencing. So our tarot card for this full moon, tarot card invitation for the full moon, is the Five of Wands. Now that's interesting. Five of Wands, we have got the fire energy, we've got creative energy, we've got co-creation, we've got co-creative energy, we've also got tension. Fives often give us the energy of tension. So Five of Wands, it's really placing us in the center of that dynamic between the sun in Aquarius and Leo, and the moon in Leo. Five of Wands wants us to stand in the center of that dynamic and alchemize that polarity between the collective and the individual. Because if everyone is showing up if everyone's showing up only working for themselves, then the collective breaks down. But if we are only showing up in deference to others, then there is no individual sovereignty to hold the energy of the collective. So how can each of us now, as individuals, stand in the center of that dichotomy and work towards greater collaboration as intentional co-creators of the whole of this structure of the web of life and of the little mini piece that you are here to create? How can we stand in the center of that dichotomy as intentional co-creators and collaborators rather than competition or collapse? So I think that's really the invitation that Five of Wands is giving us, and suggesting that if we're feeling that tension between our sovereignty and collective unity, how can we stand in the center with the alchemy that will support us to shine our light as intentional collaborators and co-creators, rather than sitting at one of the extremes of that polarity as through competition or collapse. We need each of us to be here to shine our light so that we can hold up our part of the collective web of life, the collective co-creation. So thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure to share this energy of the Leo full moon with you. And I look forward to seeing you again at the next new moon. Sending you lots of love.